Pod Me If You Can is brought to you by The Glove by Australian author David Farrell. Head to facebook.com/theglovebook for more information.
Welcome to Pod Me If You Can. I'm David Farrell. Today on the show, it's Unwed Father. From 1997, it stars Brian Austin Green and Nicholle Tom.
Pod Me If You Can. Movie reviews.
College student and musician Jason Kempler, Brian Austin Green, has his life turned upside down when, following a one-night stand with Melanie, Nicholle Tom, he finds out he's going to be a father. He offers to pay for her to terminate the pregnancy and forgets about it, until about a year later, Melanie turns up on his doorstep and leaves the baby for him to take care of. So Brian Austin Green took this role towards the end of his run on 90210, and Nicholle Tom also took this role towards the end of her time on The Nanny. The film is musical, he's a musician, and I feel like after seeing The Wedding Band, Brian Austin Green's TV show, which was short-lived, that he probably is drawn towards musical projects. Now, Melanie's mother in the film had Melanie when she was only 15 years old, so this is the biggest sin of all, history repeating itself. The fact that Nicholle Tom's character is pregnant really throws a spanner in the works for what she had planned for her future. I found the whole scene with their one-night stand kind of laughable. He's playing music in a band, and the two of them have sort of a moment together, catching each other's eye at a gig. Then, during the gig, she actually sketches a picture of him, and her friend says, "Wow, it looks so much like him." When we actually get a look at this picture, it's a pretty generic person with a guitar. But anyway, this is the basis of their one-night stand, and they get together, and when she asks him whether or not he has protection, he says, "Shh, it's okay." So we actually jump over quite an interesting part of the film. She's at an abortion clinic where she's deciding whether or not to have an abortion. She says, "I can't do this," and then we smash cut to a crying baby. So we miss all of the interesting stuff where she's pregnant at school and whether or not that's a shameful experience. You know, we miss her conversations with her mother, the things she goes through, really anything that kind of the dramatic fodder of a pregnancy. We also never get any of the conversations about adoption or giving the baby up and what's going to happen. It's just implied that she's keeping this baby. And we never get that birth scene that's so good in TV movies. Melanie's mother, played by Isabella Hoffman, is super negative about history repeating itself as well. She drives her daughter away, and even though she's a teenager, she goes to art school in the city. For Jason, college is delayed, his band tour is delayed. They were thinking about making a CD, but that's going to have to wait. Pretty much he becomes a full-time dad, and there's a scene where he's moving all of his stuff with his baby on top, and he drops his guitar into the water. The guitar sinks, and of course he holds on to his baby, watching his musical career literally wash away. It's a visual metaphor for the direction of his life. The 90s soundtrack is corny but kind of delightful. There's a charm to watching Brian Austin Green as a musician, but some of the soundtrack actually sounds like the song Landslide, so it was a bit off-putting. There's a scene where Jason goes into a child's clothing store and he goes to buy pants for his baby. And he says $85, which is an insane cost for pants. I don't know where he's shopping. But as a parent, you know that Kmart, Big W, these kind of chain stores, you can buy children's pants for $3 to $5. Then later he spends $112 on a onesie and a stuffed toy. So he's throwing his money away, and I've got to assume that's US dollars. His child gets pneumonia, and he doesn't have health care for his baby. It's all very expensive. It works well as a cautionary tale, you know, a don't have a child kind of thing, but as well, it's dangerous because you're kind of painting this picture of even if this happens, everything will be okay. Overall, this is a pretty low-maintenance baby and a pretty straightforward story. In fact, it only gets complicated when the mother comes back and wants the baby. Jason's father is played by Alan Rackins, who's Dharma's hippie father from Dharma and Greg, who I've never seen in a serious role like this. Emmanuel Shikri cameos as Kayla, a girl that he's going to hook up with, but he doesn't sleep with because he doesn't have a condom, showing maturity. Overall, this is a very average TV movie with average performances. It's very straightforward. There's nothing big for Brian Austin Green to do. It comes off as very forgettable, a kind of 5 out of 10 experience.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Check out our podcast at www.podmeifyoucan.com.